My name is Peter Cross. I'm calling this meeting of the Town of Barnstable Waterways Committee committee to order at 7:04 p.m. on September 27th, 2022. And I must read the following statement. Please note that tonight's meeting is recorded and broadcast on Channel 18 and in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Subchapter 20. I must inquire whether anyone is taping this meeting and to please make their presence known. Anybody taping this? Hearing none, I've read the warning. We can now progress, can now get going. First order of business is minutes of the last meeting. Minutes of August 23rd, 2022, the Waterways Committee. Gentlemen, have you had a chance to read those minutes?
Yes, I'd make a motion to accept the 23 August minutes of the Waterways Committee.
Todd?
I second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Perhaps I should back up a bit and say those present on the committee tonight are Greg Egan, Todd Wallentis, and Peter Cross. Absent is Chairman Paul Everson, and we have one seat on the committee that has not been appointed and filled by the town council yet. So we can now go on to notices of intent. Homeport Investments LLC, 17 Indian Trail, Osterville, Mass. Map 070, parcel 009, lot 004. The applicant proposes to replace the existing failing timber bulkhead with a vinyl bulkhead.
This property is located in the Seppuad River. And it's the one in front of me on your screen here. Doesn't look like there's any navigational issues with this project. Is there anyone here to speak on it tonight?
Yes, John O'Day from Sullivan Engineering Consulting is here. It really is just replacing the bulkhead within its existing footprint. It's going to be done from the land. I have the plan. I don't know whether you're set up for me to share screens or whether it matters on this one or not, but I think the aerial does just as well. The only thing that I would make you aware of is that we sort of realized yesterday that the bulkhead actually does continue a couple sections towards the east onto property that's in common ownership. So we'll probably be back before conservation in the near future to replace it all at the same time. We missed it on our plan, but it'll be the same project. And so you may receive notification of that as well.
Okay. Any comments, gentlemen, questions?
I just had a quick question. Will the new bulkhead go outside the existing or replace it?
Replace it.
Okay, thank you.
No questions.
No questions for me? You want to make a motion to approve this, or how do you want to?
So moved.
The second.
Made and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous.
Thank you.
Number 2 on the agenda. Helen Hughes, 94 Long Beach Road, Centerville, Mass. Map 206, parcel 007. The applicant proposes to remove the ramp and float as well as the wood walkway as needed, replacing them with a permanent pier structure 20 feet long from mean high water and adding a 16-foot gangway and 2 6 by 16.5-foot floats. Is there anybody here to speak to that?
Yes, good evening. For the record, Danny Gonzalez, professional engineer with Down Cape Engineering, here on behalf of Helen Hughes. As you mentioned, we're going to be replacing, or the proposal is to replace the existing ramp and float with a fixed pier ramp and additional floats that extend about 20 feet further than the existing. That's for the boat to maintain the proper water depth when it's along the new floats. We did provide a little sketch. I don't know if you saw it, with an approximate boat size and distance between a neighboring float to the north We are in Centerville River here, but it's kind of a little cove, dead end. Shouldn't affect navigation too much in this area, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Just want to let everyone know again, it is a Centerville River. The Dan McCarthy landing is over here. And this property is located to the east, number 94, the one I have highlighted here. And if you just give me a second, I will bring up the proposed blueprint. So this is what we're looking at here, right, Daniel?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So as you can see, the existing float is located here. They're looking to add a 16-foot gangway with the additional 6-foot wide float at the end of it. And what's the beam on this boat, Daniel, that they're proposing to put on the dock? Do you know?
It's a 26-foot regulator. What I show there is a 9'3" beam.
Okay. What's important to add is that there is a permitted dock that's right in front of this property, and it looks like from the blueprints they're saying there's going to be about 42 feet remaining between this float and the outside of the vessel that's going to be on the new proposed dock. I guess the only thing that doesn't come into factor there is whatever boat is on this side of the dock. We're going to have to subtract that 42 feet from the beam of that boat. So I mean, 8'5" average. We're talking 36 feet between their proposed plan and this pre-existing mooring that's permitted in the town. Any comments?
Can you zoom that out a little bit, please? So that's pretty close to the end of the,
Yeah, Mr. Cross, as you're aware, there is a town way to water at the very end of
Yeah.
some of the.
so this there's a float right opposite that. Is that correct? A mooring float?
That's correct, Mr. Cross.
So that's not shown on the plan that the proposal brought to us, did it? Was
It
it?
is, yeah, it's in the top left-hand corner here.
Top left-hand corner. Oh, that's the float. Okay. All right. So what's missing is the dock on the other side. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for that clarity. That makes it a lot easier to see.
And that float just has one boat on it. Is there a possibility that it could be doubled up?
Yeah, it's permitted for 2 vessels. In the Centerville River, there's generally a vessel on each side of the dock,
Yes, that's what I thought.
which is what I was saying before. According to the plans, there's 42 feet between the float itself and the beam of the new proposed boat. We'd have to subtract whatever vessel's beam might be on that float this summer, whether it be 8 feet, on average, somewhere around there.
Daniel, how much further will it be from the existing docks that are on location in the Central River located to the left of the parcel? I mean, I see the existing docks, but they don't go out that far.
So from the existing one that's there now? Or,
Well, the docks that are located to the left of this parcel.
oh, to the left of this parcel? Yeah, that is a good question. I can pull that up. So this is a little sketch plan. There was a full size, a little bit bigger, that showed the area in a little bit more detail. I don't know if you have a copy of that or not. So there is a float directly to the west of us. And we're going to be from the existing ramp that's there and float that's there now is 35 feet. That distance is gonna increase a little bit because it's just gonna be a pier there rather than the existing float. It doesn't extend as far out as ours does into the river.
Is there any type of recognized channel up in that area or no?
Not that I'm aware of.
Those two red dots moorings?
They are, they're not accurately depicting where the actual float is.
So there are moorings, permitted moorings in between the proposed new dock and the already existing float with one boat on it.
No, we call them moorings, but it's because the docks themselves are moored, Peter. So this GIS data isn't coinciding with the satellite image.
Yeah, but it actually it may actually be more correct than the actual satellite image though, Jay, because they took the GPS coordinates, correct?
Okay,
Yeah, so I would beg to differ. I think those are the two ends of the existing float, and it's just not coinciding with the satellite image. So what you see is where the existing mooring is located. And that would make sense based on the plans that he had. I just don't follow. Have you looked at maintenance dredging in this location? I mean, we're moving a dock out to get a larger boat on there. Is the existing boat 26 feet?
Not, I don't think currently. I think it's going to be a newer boat that they want to be able to use this area for.
Is there a depth issue that we're contending with?
Yeah, it's pretty shallow there right now.
What is pretty shallow?
3 feet roughly. That's just the sounding. I don't know how much I think they only have like 1 foot to deal with between the bottom of the engine and the bottom of the channel. So we're trying to get 3 feet with this new structure.
It just seems like to me that the proposal is maybe a little bit, and I hesitate to use the words, but maybe a little bit excessive. Using the satellite imagery, it looks like you're in the green water, well within half that distance. And maybe it adds to a little less congestion based on what we're looking at.
Yeah, I don't know that we're anticipating a ton of congestion here. It is kind of a dead end. I mean, could certainly consult with the client. I mean, you'd be looking to pull that back a little bit. How much are you thinking?
I'm merely making an observation that if we're got a float dock with permitted spots on either side of the float, you're talking 42 feet, take away, let's call it 9. And then you've got 2 moorings in front of it. It just seems like maybe a little bit of concession would help make this process, at least in my perception, a little easier. And I'm not trying to be a roadblock by any means, but it just seems.
Yeah, I get your point. Just to clarify though, those red dot moorings are actually the float that is shown on our plan. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's deceiving. If you change the aerial view of GIS, Jay, so you don't actually see the imagery, that's the start and the end, and ignore the pink dock. That's where it was GPS this year, correct, Jay?
this is the 2021 data. The 2022 hasn't been uploaded yet.
Okay.
So there shouldn't be any moorings in between what we're proposing and the float to the north.
I guess the other question I have is what's within character of what's already existing there? It seems like maybe this proposal, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just observing this from what I'm looking at, but it looks like the other docks are a lot tighter to the shore.
It's very similar to the one to the east. Similar depth, similar length from shore.
Could you zoom in on that, so we can see what size boat, is on the dock now? Do
Looks like a
we know
fairly
what
large
size that,
vessel.
what's the length of that vessel? Do we know?
I don't have that information, sir.
Twin motors.
Yeah, it's twin motors, right?
Yeah, you can measure it, Jay.
I mean, it's,
That's true, I can.
looks all of 25, 27 foot.
$27 foot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's, they got a 27 foot on there and they're looking for a 26, and if it's not broken, why fix it?
So the ramp, the existing ramp and float they do need to be repaired or replaced. So that's why we're here with this proposal to kind of upgrade what's existing if they're gonna be doing some work on it.
I wouldn't be opposed to upgrading what's existing, but I'm having a hard time trying to figure out why we need to add that many linear feet towards the center if the boat is essentially the same. I'm having a hard time with that.
I think it's, yeah, just purely a depth issue between the bottom of the engine and the bottom of the river.
You know, I hate to give away navigable space that we don't have to give away.
Committee like to vote on it?
Does the, Harbor Master have a position here? Opinion?
I don't want to use the word either. I think it's a little excessive for the area. No, there's not a lot of navigation. However, there are a lot of docks to the east of this, a lot of vessels that are moored there in close vicinity. I just don't feel like it needs to extend that far out into the river. And this side of the river is the navigable side. You can see where the green water is. There's not a lot of space over here between this vessel and this dock. So I do know that people tend to stay to the south side of that area.
I don't mind saying that I'm not in favor of this size proposal.
No, I would be in favor of replacing what's there, but I'm not in favor of extending it.
Would there be a certain distance between the float to the north and a proposed float that would be more appealing?
I certainly don't want to go out on that limb and suggest a distance, but maybe a much more modest approach to this proposal would be, favorable to me anyway.
Okay.
I'm not,
Rather than take a no for a vote, we would certainly rather consult with our client and maybe continue this to the next hearing to get their thoughts and see if we could make some changes that would be more favorable.
Sounds like a plan, Daniel.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, so we're going to see you again, is that correct?
Yes,
All right, so we'll move on to item number 3.
thank you for your time.
Thank you. Item number 3, 72 and 52 North Bay Realty Trust. Michael Gill, trustee, 52 North Bay Road, Osterville, Mass. Map 072, parcel 029, and 72 North Bay Road, Osterville, Mass. Map 072, parcel 030. The proposed project is to modify and expand the existing pier, ramp, and float. The pier is modified will be permanently shared between the two parcels. Okay,
Good evening, John O'Day from Sullivan Engineering and Consulting again, representing the applicant. Give him a second to see if Jay's screen catches up with his panning, but this is a cove kind of off of North Bay, extends down towards the causeway out to Oyster Harbors. There is an existing pier there with a ramp and float, and basically we're trying to extend the pier out towards the end of the float and make the float more of an L than a T. Does expand the float area, but we're kind of running it parallel with the shoreway. The waterway there's 370 something feet across. We're going out about 40 something feet plus the beam of the boat. So we do show the floats on the opposite side. I don't think that there was any moorings between us and those floats on the opposite shoreline. The aerial did come back. I think, you get probably a better picture of than our plan may represent, but that's
Yeah,
the idea.
sorry, the GIS was lagging on me, but
Yeah,
putting it
perfect.
on the, there we go again. Having some troubles with our GIS. Let me try to refresh it for you, John.
Yeah. We have good water in this cove kind of all the way across. I think there's just one pier really past us, one across from us. There's not a lot of traffic. You can see on this, I guess the mooring is more off of the pier located to our north. So it seems like there's good room and good water and good access in there for anyone who needs it. And we're just trying to improve the pier there, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
It's this pier right here, sir, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. And am I understanding that 52 and 72 plan on sharing this location?
That's correct. The pier is on 72, and over history, that parcel has kind of bounced around some of the properties around it. It was part of places across North Bay Road and even one of the lots on Oakdale at one point. But currently it's going to be shared between 52 and 72. And if conservation were to approve this, we assume that would become a permanent condition, that it's this one structure would serve both of those parcels.
And from the blueprints, and I know you mentioned it, you're proposing more of an L shape, but are you going to be, how much further are you going to be sticking out from the existing pier right now?
I can try to flip over to my plan on my screen. Hold on one second. So the existing pier, ramp, and float extend out 42 feet from mean low water, pretty close to the edge of the salt marsh. And the proposed extends out 48 feet. So it's about 6 feet further out than the existing.
Okay. And it looks like there's plenty of room between this pier and the neighbor to the north, correct? It's not an issue with what you're proposing to extend out.
No, I think that between us and the person to the north, we've got, even from the end of our float, 150 or so to that structure.
what size boat are you gonna put on? What's the beam?
The beam on that outside boat is, we set the piles off 24. I don't have the full folder in front of me, but I think it was probably about a 20-foot beam. It was like a 65-foot boat on the outside.
Okay, any comments from the Waterways Committee?
As drawn, I don't think it presents, it looks like a nice enhancement, doesn't present any sort of navigational challenges.
Excuse me, I would be in favor of it.
I have to agree with both Mr. Cross and Mr. Egan. It looks like it's well within respectable area and not going to impede on anything.
So we need a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, and aye. Okay, that's approved.
Thank you,
Appreciate
John.
your time reviewing. Thank you.
Okay, item number 4 on the agenda. Notice of intent. Town of Barnstable, Department of Public Works, 180 Ocean Street, Hyannis, map 326, parcel 068. The applicant proposes to perform maintenance dredging to restore safe navigation within the Bismore Park Marina basin of Hyannis Inner Harbor. The area measures approximately 11,370 square feet.
Mr. Taylor, you want to comment on this?
Sure, I'm not sure from, is Cameron Larson, an engineer present, or is that for something else?
I am on, but I'm for the CBA project.
Understood. Okay, yeah, so this is maintenance dredging. Jay, can you zoom in to the north side of Bismore, the smaller slips? This is maintenance dredging this past spring. We noticed some areas where there's some shoaling occurring and some sediments building up. So there's going to be maintenance dredging in the smaller slip portion, north side of Bismore Park Marina. Questions?
Sorry,
questions?
Jess isn't cooperating tonight.
No questions from me. That area gets a lot of water moved around by the ferries.
Yeah, I have no questions. I'm in support of it. Anytime we can
I don't have any.
do dredging in any of the commercial or recreational areas, I'm in support of.
All right, so let's make it official and make a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Okay, so this is item number 4. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous approval of item number 4, Town of Barnstable dredging. Moving right along. Christian Camp Meeting Association, 915 Craigville Beach Road, Centerville, Mass. Parcel ID number 225001. The applicant proposes to relocate windblown sand to the coastal beach from sand which has accumulated and mounted below the structures. Earlier, yesterday, I guess it was, I sent an email to the harbor master asking why this was on our agenda, because it doesn't have anything to do with navigation. It seems to me that this would be just clearly a Conservation Commission issue rather than a Waterways Committee, unless you're planning to dump the sand in the water somewhere.
If that's a question towards me, my name's Cameron Larson, representing Christian Camp. We are not planning to dump the sand in the water. Notice of intent with conservation, simply to take the windblown sand underneath the structures and relocate it to the coastal beach area. It was sent to the Waterways for review. Just if if we get your blessing tonight, that's excellent. But of course, it's there will be no impact to any type of navigation of that waterway.
Okay, thank you. Greg, Todd, what do you want to do?
Go ahead, Tom.
I don't see any problem with it.
I don't either. I make a motion to approve this item.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion or comments? All those in favor? Aye.
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 You let the record show it's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, committee. Good night.
Okay, we have no mooring appeals. Old business. Waitlist lottery moorings currently open for the following 3 mooring fields: Katuitt Town Dock, Ropes, Katuitt Cordwood Oyster Company, and Prince Cove. The lottery will close on and there's no date there.
That'll be October 1st, Peter, or excuse me.
Okay.
Yes, October 1st at midnight.
So the lottery will close October 1st, 2022 at midnight. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Just want to say that we had a lot of success doing this online this year. It was the first time we've ever attempted to do it online. We've had 1,790 people so far enter the lottery. Out of that, there was only 1,000 unique entries, which means that, you know, that's a family that's entering multiple people into the lottery or into different locations. But it was very well received. People had an easy time navigating the website, you know, purchasing their tickets to enter the lottery. And it's running for 4 more days. And I'll leave it to Brian to talk about the new business, but it's doing very well so far.
Okay. Any questions on this, gentlemen? Greg, Todd?
No,
All right.
no questions.
Moving right along. No questions, so old business, new business. So waitlist lottery marinas discussion regarding Gateway Marina, Bismore Park Marina, and Barnstable Harbor Marina.
Thank you, Jay. Yep, so due to Jay's success, Dredging has worked so well with online individuals signing up for the lottery. We'd like to move forward with doing the same for marinas, looking to add 25 names, looking for waterway support to these 3 marinas: Gateway Marina, Bismore Park Marina, and Barnstable Harbor Marina. Currently, Bismore Park Marina has 12 applicants on the wait list. Barnstable Harbor Marina has 17, and Gateway Marina has 17. So looking to add 25 names to each marina waitlist. The opening date will be October 15th, and it will run similar to the mooring waitlist lottery. It will run to the end of the month and then be drawn a few days later. Jay, was it 31st at midnight?
That's correct. We're running until the 31st, and the drawing will be November 2nd.
So.
Sounds great.
Any questions? Trick or treat, Halloween waitlist.
That's right.
Nope.
No, sir.
Just a friendly reminder, it will be 1 legal entry, meaning 1 legal name per lottery entry. So no more than 1 name.
Okay. Questions? Moving right along. Correspondence, I have none. Harbor Masters report.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief, guys. The lottery's been the big news around here. Like I said, it's doing very well. We're going to be launching the Marina Lottery back to back. Other than that, I just finished GISing today. You know, every year we go around and we enter the GPS coordinates of all the moorings. And it took me 3 months to get it done, so not too bad. Started in July, and I'm finishing here at the end of September. We paid a lot of attention to detail this year. We ran every single mooring permit in our system. We found multiple illegal moorings, almost a couple dozen at this point right now. People who had not renewed, winter stakes that were left out, etc. So we went ahead and we hauled a lot of moorings this year. And, you know, we found a lot of change of vessels, people that had purchased new vessels, hadn't registered them our system yet. And then we found a few illegally moored vessels in the process. But I'm happy to be done with that and moving on to the next thing. That's all I have for you tonight.
Questions? Thank you. Comments? That is it. Matters not reasonably anticipated by the chair. I have none, gentlemen.
I have none.
None.
I guess that leaves us up to one last motion.
I'd make a motion
will-
to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
aye, aye. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
Have a good night.